officially episode 50 of Chat E. How did we get here? Don't know. Crazy. But so excited. Been able to connect with so many cool people, and the journey will only continue to go. So this is so exciting. Let's get started. My girl is here. Let's do it. All right. Hi, Jess.
Hello.
How are you, honey?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was just starting off my little intro and realized that this is my official 50th episode of Chat E, so thanks for being my guest.
That's so exciting. Congratulations on 50 episodes.
Yes, of course. You're welcome. Been able to connect with so many cool people, and I'm glad to connect with you. This will be super fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited to connect with you too.
Yeah, I like your outfit. You look cute.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I have sweatpants on, but you can't see them, so it's fine.
Oh, you're good. I was at the pool today, and I'm getting kind of tan, so I was like, I'm just gonna see if it actually works with my lighting. I was like, we'll make it happen.
It
All
does
right. So I'll start off with a little intro and then allow you to add anything on that you feel like I missed. So hi everybody, welcome to the next episode of Chat E. My name is Ellie, and for anyone who has not joined in for Chat E before, Chat E is an opportunity for young entrepreneurs, content creators, and people just up to cool things in their community to share their stories, just kind of introduce what they're up to, motivate others to go after their dreams, and know that anything is possible. Reach for the stars, and don't give up on yourself because you got this. My guest this evening is Jessica Santilli, who is the creator founder of Studio Julep. She's an artist, she's super talented, and she is here to tell us about what she's up to and how her whole journey began and kind of just break it down for us. So Jess, super happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited to be a part of this. I think that building connections is the best part about running a small business and being on social media. So I'm really excited about this opportunity.
Totally. I came across you. I'm pretty sure I came across you on TikTok. It's been a little while, but on TikTok, and we'll talk about this later on, but I have been seeing your videos, and your consistency, just saying I've noticed, has been awesome. They're
Well, thank
always
you
popping
so
up
much.
on my feed. The way to build your business and get people to see you and notice you and differentiate you from others. You're definitely killing it. So keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. That's very kind to say.
Of course, you're welcome. So regarding an intro, do you have anything else you'd like to add to kind of introduce yourself further?
I can give a little bit of background about how I got to where I'm at. So I went to school for graphic design and illustration and French literature, which was just, an interesting combination. 18-year-olds picking what they want to do with their life, always pick good choices. And so I worked in marketing and advertising, related fields for about 7 or 8 years. And then recently I decided that it was really important that I focus on what makes me happy, and that was just making art. And I felt like working in marketing wasn't always the exact best fit for me. And I've loved starting my own business because then I get to make a lot of art every single day. And it's made me so happy. I just started my business in January. So I am a baby business, but it's been going so well, and I am so blown away by all the support. So that's just kind of how I got to where I'm at.
That's amazing. So what was the final straw that was kind of like, all right, I'm ready for a change, and a business of my own is what I need to start? Because for a lot of people that can be kind of scary when you're deciding to kind of venture out and do your own thing.
Yeah, so I had been working at a small print shop in my hometown, or my town where I live now. And the team there was great. They worked on a lot of awesome projects, but it was one of those things that it just wasn't the right fit for me. No one really did anything specifically wrong. It just wasn't really working for me. And in the small town that I'm in, there just weren't different opportunities that seemed more appealing or seemed like they would be a better fit. So I decided to just make my own, and I was tired of doing the same thing and expecting different results. So I opted to just do something totally different and take a chance. And it's been so exciting. I'm very blessed, though. I do still have a part-time graphic design job with a local community college. So that allows me to have a little bit more security, as small businesses can kind of ebb and flow a lot. So I'm very fortunate to have the setup that I do.
Yeah, especially when you're just starting, you just really never know what's going to happen.
For sure.
But, to have that extra income is definitely super beneficial, but believing in yourself and knowing that you can, one of my mottos, I guess, for just like my brand and business overall is you can and you will. Like, find a way to make it happen, figure it out.
Absolutely.
And clearly you're doing that. Like I said, that consistency is so key, and believing in yourself and just taking that step, that jump of faith is like where, you know, you start off. And it looks like you've kind of just shared that, but they're already growing so much. So that's really exciting, and you should be very proud of yourself.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited. You have to believe in yourself if other people are going to believe in
Totally. One of the
you.
biggest things I talk about on Chatty with different people is like authenticity. And it's so evident when people are being real and when they're not. Like, people can see right through you, you know? So especially when you're a business owner and people see your face a lot too and want to connect with you, it's really important for others to know that you're passionate about what you do and you mean what you say. So that's
Yeah,
good.
absolutely. So important.
Yes, totally. So when it comes to starting your own business, you said you have another job that you're working right now, which is great. But when it comes to starting your own business, a lot of something that holds people back sometimes is like the financial aspect, and like kind of making the decision like, do I dive into my savings and I want to invest this, or with what I'm making now, this is what I can afford to invest and all of that. So when it came into the financial aspect of, you know, taking the leap of faith and doing your own thing, what did you gravitate towards?
I had made the decision I wanted to go this route about 3 months prior to actually making any changes in my life. So
Totally.
what I had started doing was um, I was working full time at the print shop, and I was working part time as the graphic designer for the community college. So that was roughly about 60 or 70 hours a week. So then on top of it, I was trying to lay the groundwork for starting my own business. So I was getting all the documentation, like the tax numbers, like all that sort of like paperworky stuff, working on my logo, kind of like what my mission was going to be. So I was doing all of that like on like overdrive for like 2 or 3 months, but that time allowed me to emotionally and financially prepare for this big step. So I made decisions for my business, and that 3 months was when I saved up the money for the seed money for my business. So it wasn't like I quit my job and now what do I do? It was I'm going to quit my job. This is my goal, but this is my 3 month plan to get there and to get there responsibly.
Sure, and you're being strategic about it. I feel like that's the way to do it, and a lot of people get themselves in trouble with that. It's definitely important to invest into yourself. If you want to be successful, you need to, but you know, you also shouldn't jump like sometimes it works out for people, but like
Yeah.
1,000,000% in all at once, and then it's like, oh, I didn't plan for that. So it sounds like you really strategized and planned for it, so that's great. Regarding your mission, you just kind of started on that, but what is your mission and just kind of the thought and everything behind Studio Julep?
So I started Studio Julep as an art design and photography studio because I specialize in all three of those things. And I have definitely made a lot of headway as far as being a watercolor artist because that's what's kind of been the most popular service of Studio Julep, if you will. But something that was really important to me with my mission was collaboration. I wanted to lend a hand to people who have creative minds, but not creative hands, I guess, if that makes sense. Because a lot of people have such amazing ideas. And so many of my commission pieces are things that I wouldn't have thought of, but I'm so fortunate to have had the ability to work on that project for them. So my biggest mission is just to collaborate. Everyone's an artist in their own way. And you know, you can have a creative idea and collaborate with someone else, and you are partly an artist because you helped make that vision a reality. And that's true for photography, graphic design, or, you know, paintings or drawings. I think all of it. So collaboration, collaboration, collaboration is the most important thing to my business.
Sure. No, I love that. I will reach out to you. I have so many creative ideas. I'm okay with the pencil sometimes, but not what you're doing. So I would definitely be able to create some ideas with you, and I bet you could make a lot of really cool things happen. So I will definitely be sharing some things with you. That's great, and it's really important, especially after life has been so hard for the last year and a half with COVID and everything, to want to connect with new people and collaborate and form community. It's essential and important, and people build off of one another. Absolutely. So I think that that's a really special thing. I love that. What does Julep mean? Where did you come up with that name? That's why when I even asked you how to pronounce it, I was like, is it a flower? Like, I think of tulip. So I'm like, I don't know what that is.
A lot of people think Julep. It's actually the name of my cat. She has, I know, right? She has very green eyes. And when debating names for her, when I rescued her from the shelter, there was a couple contenders, but Julep really seemed to be the one that stuck the most because mint juleps, there's mint, there's green. So her eyes are very green. We named her Julep. She is absolutely the most important thing in my life. I love her more than anything. And yes, I am married and I mean what I say. She's the most important thing to me. But the leaf in my logo, my Studio Julep logo, is a mint leaf. So it's all kind of connected.
Okay, I love it. I really was not sure exactly what that was, but it's really nice that you're making all these connections that way too and making it so much more personal and relating to your life. So nice. And then the logo, did you kind of I feel like a lot of times simplicity is key, but then also people overanalyze and have to figure that out. And that's, you know, what people are going to recognize when they see your for the first time, or if they see it and they like it, then they see it again, they'll be like, oh, I know that. So how did you kind of decide on what would be your official logo for your new business?
I decided that because I am a huge sucker for simplicity when it comes to design. I think that white space is very important and easily recognizable. I wanted to make sure that it was readable so that people could see it. There's a lot of times, you know, if you have like so many design elements in it, which can be great, like whatever you want your logo to be is great. But for me, it was important that people read it immediately. And that I wanted just a simple icon that I could use for patterns or wallpapers or things like that. And I just wanted to make sure that it was simple. And a logo is recognizable the more that it's seen. So I think the logo that you use, whatever it is, it's most successful if you just like put it on a lot of stuff. So you want to make sure it's on your business cards and your profile picture and, you know, use it on your website. You just want to make sure that you're using it to your advantage too. So it's also, it's the design of a logo and how you use it that determines how successful it is.
More strategy. That's true. I haven't even thought about that, but that's the more that it's out there, the more people are going to recognize it and come back to you for different things. So
yeah, working in marketing for like 8 years really did me some good
right?
Starting my own business.
Thank goodness. Even if you're out here doing your own thing, they definitely helped you. So that's great. So you said that you are like a watercolor painter. Is that like the main form of, I was really curious about this actually, when you're doing your art and creating for your business, is that what you're using most of the time to create all
that is the most common form of like the final product. Because I am kind of like a jack of all trades with so many different mediums. Watercolor is just kind of the one I've landed on recently. I actually only bought my first like professional watercolor set a little over a year ago. So I, prior to that, was mostly doing ink drawings, charcoal, acrylic paintings, you know, those sorts of things. But I also work digitally. So to kind of like quickly walk you through like a start to finish, usually I start out hand sketching something, scanning it into my computer, making edits in Photoshop or Illustrator to kind of get a composition that I really like. Sometimes I print it back out and then I re-sketch over it, make more changes and repeat that process. Then I use the final kind of sketch that I like the best to then paint or illustrate over top of. So it's like I use all these different mediums to get to the final watercolor painting, but there's, you know, there's a lot of other steps before that. So it's really fun to watch it all kind of work together.
Very multifaceted for sure. Okay, that makes sense because I saw a TikTok that you posted about the flowers with all different colors, and I was like, they all look the same. How did she do that? But even if right, so you can use the same kind of thing but recreate it and use different colors and like change, you know, whatever your vision is or whatever your customer client wants from you. But that very cool. But that's, I mean, I don't even know how to do one of those things. So to be able to do all of them and mesh them together is a really cool skill set. Regarding like your style and the inspiration for your artwork, where does that come from?
I am deeply inspired by nature, and I feel like a lot of my pieces, you know, show that. I paint a lot of flowers and moths and landscapes and things like that. But I also am super into like fantasy. I love to play D&D with my friends. So some of my pieces will get a little more whimsical instead of realistic. I also really love symmetry. So I kind of, now that know those things, I feel like that kind of like connects everything together as far as, why all my pieces look the way that they do. But those are some of my big inspirations.
No, I think it's so cool because there's so many different artists, but everyone just has such different inspo and different reasons for doing what they do, and just talented for different reasons and in different things. But everything always looks so professional. It's so beautiful. Guys, go check out Jess's work. Seriously, when we're finished, always looks stunning.
Thank you.
But a lot of nature kind of stuff, very, very pretty. A lot of things that would be like nice on the wall, and just I feel like there's so many different places that you could put the things that you're working on.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I can see the symmetry too. I totally know what you mean with that.
Yeah, I like symmetry for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense entirely. How long does it normally take for you? I guess it depends on the size and what you're going after, but in general, like average process time from start to finish with all those different steps that you just shared about for
wow.
the art.
Yeah, it depends on the piece. So I think if I'm doing like a standard 8x10 commission, those usually take me a couple hours, just from like sketching it out. And what I'll do is I'll like send the sketch to the client to see what they like, dislike, if there's changes needed, things like that. And then what I'll do is start working on the painting. And with the layers drying and stuff, I would say it's probably between like 3 and 4 hours, from, start to finish, just sketching to painting. If I'm working on a smaller piece, like my watercolor Polaroids that I do, those go by a little bit quicker just because they're much smaller. There's way less surface area. So those I can usually do in like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Awesome. Very good. I mean, and I feel like the more you do it too, you kind of know and put this together, but that's a lot. That's like a long time, and that's just an important thing for people to understand too about small businesses, is that
for sure.
there's so much work that goes into creating the things that come across, like at the end look beautiful, but there's so much effort to go into it, especially for someone who wants it to look great to the client.
And they don't usually see or know all the failures that lead up to the final product. So I'll sketch probably like 4 or 5 things prior to settling on what I want to show to the client. But for them, that's the first thing that they see. So maybe they think that's my first drawing. But a lot of times there's like, you try a lot of things and you're like, nope, that won't work, or I'm not loving that. You have to really workshop it to end up like seeing what is going to be the best fit.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So, and I feel like that's a good thing for people understanding price points. A lot of times when artists are like, charging for certain things, it's just understanding how much time and effort and things like that go into it. It's important to be transparent about that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
So as a new business, you want as many people as possible to know about what you're up to, about your business as a whole, and what you have to offer. So what have you found to be the best marketing strategy and means of like getting the word out about Studio Julep since your business is pretty new?
I would say networking and consistency. So you want to tastefully work your business into conversation, but you don't want to be that person that's like talking about it too much. There's a fine line, but you want to make sure that you point out if you think you'd be a good fit for a project, or if you hear someone saying that they're in need of a service that you offer, you can mention that. But the other thing is just consistency. So I feel like when I'm looking to other small businesses on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, like I look to see if they're like consistently posting. And consistently posting doesn't mean that they're posting every single day. It means that they're posting on a consistent schedule for them. So if that means that they post once a week, but they're consistent with posting once a week, that makes me feel like there's a little bit more trust that can be seen there, because that means that they're consistent and they're going to be there. So I post almost daily on most of my apps. And so I think that helps, just so that people can trust that I'm here. I see your orders, I see your questions, I see your comments. So really getting your business out there is just making sure that you are networking and promoting yourself whenever you can, and being consistent about it.
No, I totally agree. People look into that, and like, as people grow on like big YouTubers and things like that, on Tuesdays, certain people at this time release a video, or all kinds of different stuff. And with Chat E too, I now am interviewing 3 times a week. I do Sunday, Monday, and Wednesdays, which is awesome. But for a while, I was just like, when I can. But I'm like, if I want to build this and grow, like, you have to. And people look for it. But that's really cool that you've learned that so early on too. And of all of the different platforms that there are, which one is your favorite? TikTok, Instagram, Twitter?
I would say Instagram is my favorite, but TikTok is the one that works the best for me. I like Instagram. Yeah, I like Instagram because I've been on it consistently for the longest, and I just think it's so nice because my feed is so curated, because you post maybe once a day, every couple days, and it's usually one really thought out post. But on TikTok, I post like a lot of shenanigans. So it's funny because the feeds look so different. So I love organization. I love things to look put together. So I really gravitate towards Instagram. But TikTok really has been a game changer for my business. It has been the biggest, networking tool I've had. It brings me in the most business, and it's built me the most connections as of late. I joined it right at the end of February, but it's been a huge asset to my business.
Most people, I feel like, have said that, and it's just like so popular, and I don't see it going like being not popular anymore for a while. It'll definitely be a big thing for at least a couple years, even if something else comes up on TikTok. So since everyone's on it, and I feel like it's a lot more of a positive platform than some others. Not saying that there aren't like trolls and like people that are nasty, but for the most part, people are there to build community and like want to support small businesses. And when they find someone that they like or that style they like, then they really like follow you. They're on your journey with you. So
for sure, there's a different marketing message for each of the platforms. Like I said, Instagram's a lot more curated. TikTok's very silly and very fun and loosey-goosey. And Twitter is a lot more like promotional based. Like Twitter's kind of where you go and you like point out what you have available, and you kind of tell like what you're thinking or things like that. But you can't post the same thing on all 3 platforms and expect them to be equally as successful. Each platform wants their own thing.
That's a good way to, I haven't thought of it like that before. That's true.
Yeah, they all want different things.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And then, but the more people you're reaching and the different things that you're offering to those 3 platforms means you're getting more eyes, get to know. That's good. Going out on your own is a big deal. A lot of people dream of doing that, and the biggest thing that they don't do is that. They don't end up going after what they want. So how have you changed regarding like just feelings of yourself and your business, and in any aspect, just with having made the step to do what you wanted and what was best for you at the time being?
I would say that the biggest change I've noticed is just in my overall happiness and my motivation to get work done. When I was working for someone else, not to say I was a lazy or bad employee, but I just was not as motivated because it wasn't really for any benefit other than the amount of money I was making per hour. Sometimes I would get really connected with a client and it would be a really good fit and I would feel very motivated to do the work for them. But I feel like running my own small business, every little thing that I do helps my business grow, and I am the person that benefits from that, and my clients they benefit from it too. And every connection that my business builds is a connection like I am building with someone. So I'm not like behind a wall working on a project, going through a project manager who's talking to the client. Like I am talking to people and helping them with their vision. And I think just I have so much joy in my life in so many aspects, but having my career now be one of the things bringing me joy has been the greatest change.
That's everything. Proud of you. Good for you.
Thank you.
Amazing. And there's different types of people. Some people are ready to work for themselves and like, want to do that. And some people are okay working for someone else. But if you are one of those people that wants to work for yourself and can make it happen and have an idea, talk with Jess to get your design created. She's got you. Go do your thing, slay and make it work. That's awesome. So in regards to the types of products that you offer, or for people who want to order and kind of like come to you for maybe a custom something or are looking for something for their business, what types of things do you sell? So some people might have like, you know, different size paintings, keychains. I don't know, different. I don't think you have keychains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Just
don't have keychains, but
you know,
yeah. So you're totally fine. In my shop right now, I'm offering prints and stickers. Throughout the winter, I was offering original watercolors in my shop, but because it's now show season, I wanted to make sure that I was keeping my show stock separate from my online stock. And I didn't want to run the risk of accidentally double selling an original because you can't do much about that, but you can sell more than one of a print. So right now in my shop is prints and stickers. I do have quite a few different ones available. And then I also offer services of doing custom designs, custom paintings, custom watercolors. I do logo design, brochure design. I help with marketing. I do content writing. I also do photography. I can do product photography, you know, engagement photos. I can do portraits. Like I really am like a jack of all trades when it comes to this stuff. And it's not something that I don't feel like I'm spreading myself too thin either, because so many of those apply the exact same skills. It's just learning a different way to use them. And so I feel like even though my business is me and I offer so many things, and it's easy to think that I might be spreading myself too thin or I'm offering so many different things, but they all use the same sort of skills. You just have to learn how to apply it differently.
Totally. That's a good way to look at it too and explain that, because there's so many people who are trying to be like, oh, I cook and I clean and I bake and I make jewelry and, you know, but they're not good at all.
Yeah, but if you figure out like what your mission is, and if your mission, like I said, my business's biggest mission is to collaborate. So I want to be an addition to you know, the person that's looking to get something accomplished. So if I can be a content writer, if I can be their photographer, if I can be their painter, but I can help them accomplish their creative vision, then that's exactly what I need to be doing. And so if you determine what your vision and what your mission is as a small business, you can use that to help combine any kind of loose end things you want to do. Like you said, if you're, you know, cleaning and making jewelry, like, well, why is it that you're doing that? And then use the why to explain to people how it works.
And putting it in perspective that it is possible to do more than one thing at once and balance it. You just have to make sure they relate versus making them all different. When I first started my business, I have a couple different like segments of things I do, and they just weren't related. And it was like a friend had to tell me, a friend had to help and explain to me that everything needs to be streamlined and connected, or else people can't follow what you're doing. It doesn't make sense because it's too much. So figuring out that streamline, and because they're all connected, then you're able to do that and make it easier on you and to explain to other people.
For sure. And you also have to determine what you want to market yourself most as, so that people aren't too confused. So my graphic design and my photography services are things that I offer kind of behind the scenes of what I present on my social media platforms, because I think the things that people are most interested in as far as what I'm offering are mostly my watercolor paintings. And a lot of the services that I offer for graphic design or for photography, I get from in-person connections. So I don't focus on those as much on social media. And that's also what's performed the best. When I first started my business in January, I kind of posted about everything just to get a little feel about what people might be interested in. And like far and away, people were interested in my paintings. So that's kind of how I've streamlined my communications. And then from there, it's helped me grow in other ways.
Sure, exactly. That's the way to do it. Kind of weed it out, what's going to do the best. And doesn't mean you can't offer those other things, but prioritize what will do the best. And that's the way to go. Good.
Yeah.
Totally. And I think it's making it easier on yourself too. So just so you don't have to like come up with content videos for like 10 different things, and you could just be like,
for sure,
this, I'm here. I got you.
Yeah.
If you were to use 3 different words to describe yourself, you can use words that you would use personally or words that you also think others would use to describe you. What would they be and why?
I would say, I think compassionate, organized, and probably detail oriented. So I care so much about other people and the world and animals and plants and like all of the things. Like I care so much. I actually think that I can suffer from compassion fatigue, where you just like care so much you like need a nap. And then I am very organized. I very much so appreciate having lists and things, you know, cut and dry, like this is due like now, or this is due later, or you know, kind of having everything where it's supposed to be. And I would also say being detail oriented, it does kind of align with being organized, but all of my artwork pieces, like down to the very last little dot, like I love it. I'm so thoughtful as far as like where everything goes, and I pay attention to the littlest things, and that's something I think is both true. I think all three of those things are true for me, both personally and professionally.
Those are all really good things, and they don't. And it's nice because everyone always has such different words to describe themselves, and the detail oriented, I can definitely see that in your work, and everything that I've seen, it's all, like I said, stunning, but the little things, and super important, the organization when you're starting your own business and just in general keeping your life in check, right? The organization is great, and that's something I struggle with big time. Gotten better, but I wish. I admire you for that. And the amazing, you know, you're forming those connections, collaborating, and want people in your circle and want them to have you as a part of theirs. So those are great. Awesome. In regards to your business and just personally, I guess, what are your goals for the future in regards to how you want to build from here on out?
I think my goals for the future are to feel more secure in this being my full-time job. So like I said, I have the sense of security from the fact that I work part-time as a graphic designer. But I am hoping to get to the point where I feel a sense of security with my small business being like a reasonable source of income for the business, as well as, you know, to support my life. And like I said, I'm very fortunate to have that part-time job, but I think my biggest goal is to just have security with my small business being my like sole income.
Manifest, you'll make it happen. Absolutely. Super excited to see it happen. Where are people able to find you when searching for you on social media, as well as just your website and all of that jazz?
Yeah, so my website is studiojulep.com. My Instagram handle is Studio Julep, along with Twitter and TikTok are also just Studio Julep. And you can reach out to me at jessica@studiojulep.com and send me any questions or comments that you have. I also love getting messages or comments. I will respond to you. I literally read everything and care so much. So if anyone ever wants to reach out to me about a project or any thoughts or any questions, please do. I love connecting with people.
Guys, she has compassion fatigue. She means that she will really reach out to you until
I will really care, I promise.
Or she will respond and be there for you until she passes out.
Pretty much, yeah. And then I will respond when I wake up.
Right, exactly. Then she'll be back with you again when she wakes up, exactly. Well, I only have one more question for you, but this chat will be posted on my IGTV as well as on YouTube. I will send you the link after this, and you can find it at Elko Community Building on YouTube. But do you have any tips for people who are wanting to go after a new dream or starting their business? You've come so far in such a short amount of time. You're so talented, so congrats, way to go. Good for you for you know, figuring out what you're good at, what you like to do, and making it a thing. And like I said, continue to manifest, continue to connect and support other people as they support you to make all your dreams a reality. And you're already well on your way. So it's very exciting, and there's nowhere to go but up from here. But do you have any tips for new people?
Well, thank you for all those kind words. That's very
Yes, of course.
I would say my tips would just be to write down what your goals are. And even if it's like 10 or 15, and then pick like 2 or 3 to focus on for the next month or two, and then make sure that you are always setting goals for yourself and you're setting realistic timelines. Success doesn't happen overnight. You want to make sure that you are both being focused and reasonable about what you want to do. So like I said, my biggest tip is to write down everything that you want to achieve.
Yep.
And don't forget all of that, but then focus on 1 or 2 things that you can achieve or work to achieve right now.
Absolutely. everyone is capable of getting to where they want to be. It's all super
Absolutely.
exciting and possible and well in the works, but you have to be your own biggest fan and, support yourself, because if you don't believe in you, then other people can't either. And that's hard.
Very true.
It's hard.
It's very hard, but it's very true. Confidence is key.
It's everything. Well, Jess, seriously, thank you so much. I'm so glad we got to connect.
Thank
Keep up
you.
your consistency and all of the amazing work that you're doing. I was just brainstorming some ideas of my own, and things that I would literally have you start working on now if you have time. So very excited to chat with you. And you have an awesome rest of your night. You're going to do great things.
Thank you. I hope you have a great night too. And you are a wonderful human, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk to everyone.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.